We're live.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no. Shit.
We're not ghosts. We're alive.
But Blythe, you're doing the ghost sounds for the being alive, and you're going to confuse people, and they will think that we are ghosts.
What are you? Are you
no.
I don't know what we are.
Boo. Hey, Boo.
Insane. I think the answer is insane. That's what we are.
Well, I mean, if they're here looking at our podcast, they knew that. They knew that shit.
True.
And it didn't keep them away for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah, and that's on them.
Yeah, they brought this on themselves.
It's true. No one else to blame, you guys, but
No
yourselves for being around us.
No one to hear you scream or something.
Yes, in space.
Indeed.
In the grim darkness of the far future.
So your butt?
Yes, there is only us.
There's only us. There's only this. The ghost rendition of Rent.
Yep.
I jumped over the moon.
What?
Yeah, thank you. I've been thinking of that like all week for some reason. I don't know why. I just catch myself going, I jumped over the moon. What?
Sean is very disappointed. He thinks that we hyped it up and too much, and that when he finally listened to it, that Adam Pascal is not like, he just says what like a normal person, and I'm like, disagree.
I mean, we do kind of hype things up a lot because we get real giggly over shit, and it doesn't always make sense to other people why it's so funny.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
Adam Pascal definitely
like a
does
thing we do.
not say that normally. He
What?
doesn't just say what.
What?
There's definitely a gravel in there.
What?
I jumped over the moon.
What?
Oh. Okay. Ugh, I do not like what's happening in the chat now. It's very small. I can't find a way to make it larger. Oh, I can
That's
pop it
what
out.
she said.
If you just rub it a little bit, something.
Yeah, you can. It may be a grower, not a shower, Blythe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I popped it out, y'all.
That's good.
Oh, damn.
I guess. I think that's good.
I also agree. It is good.
Okay.
Just pop it right on out of there.
Pop it off. Pop it out.
Pop it in.
Papa John's. Oh no!
No.
No.
Now
no.
you've got
Although,
Stop being racist.
yeah. Didn't their shit founder finally step down, like, from day-to-day operations?
He got forced down. He's trying
Okay,
to
good.
make a comeback.
Oh, fuck. No. Stay down, Papa John. Stay down. You
Fucking
Adam
shit.
Corolla-looking motherfucker.
Yeah. That's
And Adam Corolla is not a handsome man.
He has a certain appeal, but it's mostly in his personality, I suppose.
His horrible, horrible personality.
Is he that bad?
Oh God, yeah. He's taken to becoming like any edge he once had as a comic has now been replaced by these damn kids and they're not manly enough kids.
Okay, well that's fair. I only know Adam Carolla back in the day.
Back in the day, Adam Corolla, sure, although he was always creepy looking.
Did I tell you about the time he like came through Kansas City and I went and saw him with my ex at the time?
No. Should we save this for the actual podcast
Maybe.
though? Okay.
I mean, we'll have to somehow get the conversation back to Adam Carolla. So.
That's okay. We
Okay.
can make that happen.
Okay.
I love in the chat, hey, our chat is a good size. Love you.
Speaking of the actual podcast, do you guys want to go ahead and start it?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, okay. So everybody let me know when you are ready to click record.
Ready?
Ready?
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. And we're clapping. 3, 2, 1. Great. That sounded really good too. So
No, huzzah.
apparently all of our internets are pretty decent tonight. Okay, where did my chat go? There's my chat. And
There's your chat.
videos.
Where your
Okay.
chat is.
Amanda, if you want to kick us off, I am ready to
Sure.
go.
Oh, I'm gonna make that be the right number though.
Oh yeah, I didn't change anything. I've been a chicken with my head cut off this week. So
Hot. Have guys been trying to stick their dicks down your throat?
What?
What?
No. What?
I mean,
Huh?
yeah, but that's just normal operating procedure around here.
Oh, well, okay.
I'm disturbed, guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. My notes are not loading, but I'm pretty sure I remember how to start this. So let's just see if I remember how to say
Let's
my
find
name.
out.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to episode 96 of the Dork Pridecast. My name is Amanda.
I'm Blythe.
And I'm Rissy. We make up a comedy group called the Damsels of Dorkington, and this is our podcast, which is also funny, depending on how much you like poop jokes and dick jokes, or poop coming out of dick jokes, or if you're drunk. Hopefully you're not drunk on dick poop. Don't do that. Don't put that in your mouth.
Dick poop. Is that just another word for jizz, or is that something entirely different?
I mean, considering, I suppose it would be possible if you had enough of a plumbing screw up, you could actually poop out of your dick.
Oh, no.
Well,
There are all those women after childbirth who like fucking shitting out of their vaginas, so.
Yeah.
That's not the same, though. Those are closer together than dick.
Anything is possible.
Sure. That's not
Just
true, but
believe,
sure.
Amanda.
I don't want to.
I do believe in dick poop. I do
Well-
believe in dick poop.
I hate you both. You're gross.
Well, we're back,
And you wish that we weren't.
we wish that we weren't. Indeed. Why?
Nightmares, it's your boys.
Indeed. Why are you
my
even
girls.
listening to this, you sick fucks? We had our Gen Con wrap up 2 weeks ago. It was 2 podcasts in one. So we skipped last week. Now we are back. We are normal. We've wrapped Gen
Not
Con up.
normal.
Yeah.
Not normal.
No, that's true.
I mean, normal for us, you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one ever assumes that we are going to be normal. I assure you.
And if we do end up normal, you know we've been replaced by our pod self, so kill us.
Indeed. Speaking of normal, you know who's the normalest of all time? Adam Corolla. Does anybody have any stories about Adam Corolla?
What an interesting segue.
Very natural and not at all scripted.
That's my specialty, you guys, segueing.
For those who are just listening to this, we were, for whatever reason, talking about Adam Corolla before the podcast officially started.
Because we were talking about Papa John's, and I said the Papa John CEO was an Adam Carolla looking motherfucker.
This is too much information. Let the motherfuckers wonder. If they weren't here and they didn't get to experience it, they don't get it explained to them later. Love
So,
you guys.
There you
Okay, Mom.
But there was some discussion on whether or not he is funny or was funny or whatever. And I was going to tell a story about a time when I went to see him when he was doing, like, I'm not going to call it stand-up because that's not what it was. It was
Okay.
him. It was
It was
more-
masturbation, wasn't it? Just like
yes,
Louis.
yeah,
he's a
just
masturbator.
live sex acts.
He just took a giant shit on the stage. The aristocrat.
Out of his dick.
Oh, yes, dick shitting
I mean,
on stage. Live.
that's basically what he did. It was more set up like, well, I've also gone to see Kevin Smith when he's come through. So it's just them standing up there talking about themselves and then maybe people ask questions. But there was a good, like, and I'm not exaggerating at all, like 15, 20 minutes where he just talked about how much money he makes.
What?
And he had like a PowerPoint behind him that went year by year and showing like
Very relatable, I'm sure.
well, it was like in the beginning, it was like, look, I was making not a lot of money, like a lot of you people probably make. But then,
Jesus. Did he
but
call you
then-
peasant?
I mean, basically. But it was just like, this is not funny or interesting or it's like, did you? Okay, I mean, the joke's on us. We paid for the ticket, so good job, I guess. You win. You win all the prizes. So, yeah. That was,
Yeah, that's awkward. That's
it-
really awkward.
it was-
Yeah, wow.
it was real weird. I don't remember. I think it was one of those like stay in school kids sort of things, maybe. I don't remember. I don't
Stay in
remember the
school and
point
become a
of
stand-up comedian?
it. Ish. I mean, yeah, it was weird. So I'm gonna go with the not very funny.
Okay.
Side.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, now all he does all day is rant about how men are all turning into women, and I'm like, I distinctly remember that on the Man Show, you espoused the virtues of hot lesbian action. So this should be a thing that you support, sir, because if all men turn into women, then all sex is hot lesbian sex.
Yeah, but he still wants to be a dude, so maybe he's
Well-
worried that he's going to turn into a woman, which
I mean,
probably
maybe
won't
if he
happen.
angers the wrong witch.
I'd like to see that, actually.
Right, Adam Corolla curse, put under a magical curse. Actually, I would watch that. I would pay a lot of money to watch that, only if it's a Truman Show style thing, though, where it's not him in a movie playing himself, where he has, like, implants put into his brain, and he thinks that he has become a woman and is under a magical curse, and then they have a bunch of, like, Truman Show style cast members who have to, like, show him the shittiest aspects of what it's like to be female. Not, like, rape him or anything along those lines, but everything else.
But the spell that the witch uses to make this happen, it has to go like this. Ziggy zaggy, oi, oi, oi.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Oh, the witch is one of the hot chicks that used to dance the juggies or whatever that would jump on the trampolines from the Man Show. It's one of them.
I love
who's
it.
a witch. Yeah.
But then he would just reuse his whole "this is how much money I made," except he'd have to divide all the numbers by like 3/4, and yeah. You'd have to
away, like,
multiply them by
20%.
3/4. That's the correct math, but you guys knew what I was saying.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Guys,
Yeah.
you know this is what you come here for. Adam Corolla jokes. Oh, well.
Adam Corolla being forcibly implanted with false memories.
Yep. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. I mean, I feel like we can't do better than that. I feel like we've
True.
shot our
Let's,
load.
Let's get a network to pitch this to and see if they can tranquilize and subdue Adam Corolla.
What podcast network is Adam Carolla's on? Because I feel like
We should
we can do an Adam Corolla adjacent podcast on his own network.
We should find a podcast on his own network that we can tell secretly hates him and then pitch them the idea.
Secretly hates him.
Right. Well, where they're like resentful of him, where they're like they thought they were going to really make it by being on Adam Carolla's podcast network, but it hasn't done as well for them as they thought. And so they're actually really resentful of him, even though he's not that funny anymore and hasn't been relevant in like 15 years. And you can just tell it just leaks through everything they do. We could probably get them to like use the tranquilizer darts and shit.
Yeah, that's true. I love this plan personally.
I love this plan. I'm excited to be part of it.
I hope someone is taking notes because we won't remember this in 15 minutes.
100%.
definitely
That's
not.
what we have Josh for.
That's true.
Thanks, Josh.
Well, it's been a couple weeks. What is new? What nerdy things has everyone done?
I read books.
You gotta read books. What kind of books?
So I read a trilogy that has been on my list to read for forever, ever. The first book is called Ancillary Justice. It won a Hugo and a Nebula, and I think it won basically like every major science fiction fantasy award for novels that there was to win at the time. And it's so it's a trilogy. Is Ancillary Justice, Ancillary Sword, and Ancillary Mercy are the three books, and the titles refer to so there's this giant space empire that's ruled over by one person who's 3,000 years old and who accomplishes this by having new bodies of herself cloned, and then they all have these implants put into them so they all share the same consciousness, or at least they're supposed to share the same consciousness. But obviously that keeps the clone bodies from developing their own personality, or so you think. So the names of the three types of ships that they have are Justices, which are troop carriers, Swords, which are warships, and Mercies, which are like medic ships. I don't think it's ever really gone over what the Mercies do. Anyway, the main character is an ancillary, which is each ship has an AI. and is like a fully functional AI. So these ships, like, they don't just think, they feel. They make attachments to people, because it turns out that, like, you can't have a ship with an AI and not give it feelings. It doesn't make decisions correctly, which is actually nice to see somebody in science fiction who addresses that, because the whole, like, oh, you must make your decisions on logic and rationality. Actually, it turns out the people who don't have emotions, like people who are fucking psychopaths and shit, make terrible decisions.
That makes sense.
So the main character isn't, so the ships each have their own AI, and then for a long time in the Empire, they would capture people, like adult humans, and then turn them into ancillaries, which is they put implants in your head and destroy your personality and replace it with that of the ships. So you are like a hive mind with the ship's consciousness, and then you can hang out on the ship or go down to the planet. So the ship always knows what the fuck is going on around it, because it has these ancillaries. And so the main character is somebody who was an ancillary of the ship. Justice of Torin is the name of it. She was an ancillary of this one ship, and then all this crazy shit happened to her, and the ship was destroyed, and all the other ancillaries were destroyed. So she is all that's left of this, and she is out for revenge, and it is awesome. The thing a lot of people talk about with these books is the fact that the society that of the Empire, which is called the Raj, they're weird about gender. Like, at least they would seem weird to us in that they don't really make a big deal out of it. And it's kind of rude to do so. And like the way English always defaults to he, their language always defaults to she. So if you don't know somebody's gender, you would always refer to them as she. And they think it's weird and like kind of a backwater primitive thing when they encounter other cultures who actually do make a big deal in their language of distinguishing male versus female. That's the thing you hear about a lot, but honestly, you stop noticing it after a while in the books. I think that's a neat thing that they have, but it's certainly not like the end-all be-all. To me, the whole theme of the books is like personal autonomy, and if you really love something, you have to let it go.
Interesting.
In space!
Did you finish this book, or did you just get it started?
Nope, I finished all 3.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh, they're fucking great. The second, like, my only complaint is that, like, the second book is a little slow, and then when the climax happens, it is super rushed. But still, it was very enjoyable. And then the first and third books are fucking great, and the author definitely sticks the landing. So, yeah. It was awesome, and I highly recommend them. They're very cool books by Anne Leckie.
Cool.
And, yeah.
Sounds interesting.
Pretty fucking great. So they're basically like space operas, because they don't really delve too much into the technology of what's going on or the actual like science behind it. They touch on it a little bit, but it's very kind of hand-wavy. Yeah. Not quite Star Wars, because there's no like magic in it. But it's definitely not hard science fiction, but that's okay, because I don't really like hard sci-fi.
I don't like hard things.
I mean, I do, but not science fiction.
No, I know.
I like my science fiction how I don't like my men.
Soft.
I feel like there's a lot of things we could say there, but...
Flaccid.
Alive. Wait.
Tucked inside of itself.
Right. Engulfing another science fiction. And then I started reading a 4th book, which is called The Testament of Loki, which it seems it's the way it was presented on the, shelf at the store. It looks like it's a fucking standalone book. It's actually the 4th book in a series.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, although it's one of those, I'm pretty sure it can stand alone, that you didn't really need the other stuff to enjoy it, but it would have been helpful. And then there's like, I think it must have been shelved improperly, because it was in like the regular science fiction section. And I'm reading this and I'm like, boy, it's supposed to be from the point of view of Loki, of him trying to get out of the netherworld into the modern world and shit. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like a cool concept. Like, this is awfully sanitized. Like, nobody's swearing, and all the main characters are teenagers. I'm like, this is a young adult book. There is no fucking way that this is an actual adult book. So I go and look it up, and yes, this whole series of books are for younger readers. I'm like, oh, thank fucking Christ, because now that I know it's a young adult book and I can actually appreciate it on its own terms, as opposed to thinking this is just a shitty, dumbed down American Gods. No, this is a young adult thing, so entirely different. Although what's funny is one of the blurbs on the back is like, this portrayal of Loki will beguile readers who love Neil Gaiman's version. I'm like, anyone that this book is actually aimed at is way too young to have read American Gods. Like, I mean, if the kid comes home from the library with a copy of it and they're 14, I mean, the damage is already done. But I would never give my 14-year-old a copy of American Gods. Like, here, kids, read all this graphic violence and intensely graphic sex.
Listen, kids have to learn about people who eat other people with their vaginas sometime.
Better that they learn it from us than from their friends.
See, until you said that, I was like, what graphic sex was there in that?
Yeah, you're
Oh, right. Oh, right,
well,
that's not even...
I mean, that's not graphic because it's a lot of euphemism-y, I feel like.
That's very
true. But there is the point, though, where the guy literally looks down and sees himself all the way up to his ribcage and then her vagina. Like, just to make sure Neil Gaiman wasn't going to let you get away with not really thinking about it.
Like, no, this is,
No,
this is happening. But there's lots of other sex scenes. There's that whole scene where Shadow is going down on the cat goddess on a bridge. There's that hardcore, like, balls deep gay male sex scene between the taxi driver Ifrit and
right.
This man. Yeah, there is so much fucking sex in that book.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is, absolutely. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't think that the target audiences for these books are in any way, shape, or form the same.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's very strange comparison to make.
Well,
unless you're just trying to get some older people to purchase your book. I mean, that's probably...
The thing is, though, is that if that's what they're comparing it to, then people are going to go into it wanting it to be like American Gods, i.e. full of swearing and sex, and most of the protagonists are not teenagers.
Sure. What you fail to realize is that some people who, like, market things aren't very good at it.
There is that.
It would be,
Also, my general impression of American Gods isn't a lot of swearing and sex. Like, that's not really what I took away from that. So just, more deities living now kind of undercover.
And eating each other with their vagina.
I mean, that was just one of them. They weren't all doing that.
One of the first things that happens in the book, though.
Yeah, but they're not all like that.
Guys, it clearly left a mark on my brain. I'm really sorry.
Mine too. Also, one of the other things I remember super clearly is when Shadow is talking to the Raven, and he's like, hey, Hugin, or Munin, or whoever you are, say nevermore, and goes, fuck you!
Yeah.
So literally the first things that come to mind with that book are sex and swearing for me.
That sounds...
okay.
On brand for you.
Fuck you! I want a Raven that says fuck you.
I personally do too. Actually, I want to mine a bird that says it.
Oh, wow.
No. You don't want a bird, Blythe. You know that.
No, listen, you're not wrong.
I don't think anyone actually wants a bird.
But
Blythe Extra doesn't want a bird.
That's true. But if I'm going to have a bird, it's going to be a miner bird.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I accept this. Headcanon. Like, that's the only possible solution. See, what I want is just to make friends with a wild raven and we can hang out and talk. Like, it doesn't have to live with me. I want to give it corn.
We can hang out and talk, and I want to give it corn. If that doesn't sum you up, I don't know what does.
I mean, she tries to do that with us too, so.
It's true. I'm always trying to give you guys corn and you won't eat it.
No. We know where it's been, in your hand, so it's gross.
Yeah. There's that.
Because you're filthy. And
I am a gross filth beast.
Yes, you are.
I mean, I don't know. I like corn a whole lot. If you offered me corn, even out of your hand, I might take it.
Like, here's some corn. Or do you like sunflower seeds? Or any other kinds of seeds?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But so I really like corn.
And or corn.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
I like corn a whole lot.
Corn is wonderful.
Oh, so I forgot that we had some things to discuss before I launched into the, hey, what have you guys done?
Real quick, though, in the chat, the name of our show is going to be called The Most Dangerous Corolla.
No.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
So doubling back, we are making some changes to the podcast schedule. Yes. So we wanted to give you guys a heads up because that's happening pretty quickly. So starting in September, we are going to only be doing 2 regular podcasts a month. But fear not, if you are a patron, you'll still... In fact, we're simplifying things. So in the past, what we've done is we have Wednesdays for normal podcasts, and then our bonus podcasts, they happen whenever we can fucking organize our schedules to make them happen. It's been confusing.
1 week since you looked at me.
Indeed.
Nope.
Yeah. It's been confusing. It's been very last minute. Oftentimes we're like, it's like Saturday and we're like, oh, hey guys, we're doing a Dork Pridecast tomorrow. Ha, sorry. Lol. So we're going to fix that problem. We are going to go to a schedule. And this way you will know always what's happening. So starting in September, the first Wednesday of every month is going to be a regular, normal Dork Pridecast. The second Wednesday will be a patron-only Drunk Pridecast. If you're not a patron, just so you know, you can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and you will be able to be here for that, or listen to it later. So that'll be available to patrons at basically any level. Then the third Wednesday will again be a regular Dork Pridecast. And the fourth Wednesday will not be a broadcast, but it will be Rissy and Amanda will be recording a Damsels and Dragons episode. So,
we might occasionally stream it if you're very good.
Yes.
Occasionally.
So it may be streamed from time to time, but you'll always know when that's happening. And even if it's not streamed, at least you'll know when it's going to come out, the audio version. So if there's a fifth month,
I sure as shit hope there is lousy March weather.
Me too, because the 5th month is my birth month. So if we delete that, I cease to exist.
Oh no!
No, you just don't get older. So actually, that's a good. Yeah,
it's not a bad thing.
Okay, never mind. Then let's do that.
Okay.
Anyway, if there is a 5th Wednesday in a given month, it's going to be a wild card. Who knows? We might choose to do a broadcast. We might have a meeting or a rehearsal that day. It just depends on what's happening with us and what's...
We might do a regular streamed Drunk Pridecast for everyone.
Yeah, who knows? Who fucking knows? So,
wild card, bitches! Woo!
So that is the changes that are happening. And we are actually going to go ahead and do a Dork Pridecast next Wednesday. So if you're a patron...
A drunk one.
If you're a drunk patron, here... yes.
Yeah.
We're doing a drunk
also, if
Pride
you're...
Cast.
For drunk patrons, yes.
Yes. So
okay, don't fuck with my head schedule. You know how hard it is for me to retain thoughts that involve practical things.
What am I fucking...
Well, you said we're doing a podcast next week, a Dork Pridecast, and Amanda was like, no, a drunk one. And I'm just like, I thought we were doing the Drunk Pridecast next week. And you were like, no, for drunk patrons. And I'm like, what's happening? No!
I just misspoke. I'm sorry that I broke your brain. So yes, next Wednesday is a Drunk Pridecast.
You know my intelligence is only applicable to useless shit.
We know.
What's more useless than this goddamn podcast?
She has a point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, Drunk Pridecast next week. And then the following week is surprise September. And then we start onto the new schedule. And if you can't remember any of that, because we know exactly what's going on, you can just go to our YouTube page and see that our events are set up. I set up the next like 5 or 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
So if you're confused about what's happening, just pop on over there and you can see for yourself. You won't be able to see the Drunk Pridecasts because those are unlisted and those get sent out to patrons when we go live. But that'll let you know if there's a normal Pridecast happening or not. So we hope that makes it easier for you guys to keep track of what the fuck we're doing.
And us too.
Yes.
That's the thing, is it'll definitely make it easier for us. It'll help us to be consistent for you guys, which I know is important. It also helps us to keep it consistent in our own lives, which is also really important.
Yes.
And then we, yeah, and this will just kind of free up our weekends to focus on other things. We still have things from the Damselversary to deliver that we need to be working on. John Latch points out in the chat that October is the next 5 Wednesday month. Yes, he is correct. That 5th Wednesday will probably be one of the Damselversary rewards. So I don't know what we'll be doing yet, but it's probably going to be one of those things that we still owe you guys. So don't worry, we're still keeping track of those things. We're coming through just slowly, and we had to pause for Gen Con, but we're getting back on track. And yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with that. I think, you know, if you have any questions, definitely let us know. And if you aren't a patron already, definitely consider becoming one, because you'll literally get twice as many podcasts as you're about to get. So for only $1 a month, or more if you want other stuff, we got other options. Yeah.
Look like Gelfling.
I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, the other thing that I was going to mention is we have some requests. And I just lost my show notes, so if somebody else has them in front of them.
I do. Our requests are send us your photos from Gen Con. Also, tell us about your favorite moments, quotes, and characters from our shows. One of my friends... What?
Those are sincere requests.
Yes.
Yeah, like we actually would like those things from you guys.
But I said it in my sincere request voice.
All your voices are the same, and none of them sound sincere.
That's very true.
But we already have one installation of the My Favorite Moment from our friends Matt and Maya. Favorite moment is when I farted into Blythe's mouth during the concert.
I mean, that's going to be everyone's favorite moment. So if you can pick a
maybe
moment
not Blythe.
farting in my I really appreciate it, because we already know that one, guys.
Okay, your second favorite moment from Gen Con.
Right.
But yes, if you have pictures and you can email those to us, that would be amazing. We're trying to get like kind of a photo roundup that we'd like to post some things and kind of keep track of those sorts of things. That would be great. And if you have favorite moments or quotes from our shows or anything that kind of just sticks out to you, we would appreciate that information. Maybe we should create a post in Dork Pride Worldwide where all that stuff can live. So, but yeah, that will kind of help us. Those things help to guide sticker making choices and just future merch choices, honestly. So those things are really important to us, because from our side, we have our favorite moments, but they may not resonate on the audience side, like we may have favorite moments because something happened in a rehearsal or because you know, those sorts of things that kind of cloud our judgment. So we really appreciate the feedback from the other direction of what you guys saw and heard that stuck in your brains.
Mouth.
Like some horrible fart.
Yep.
And delicious.
I would not call it delicious, but sure.
My farts tonight are not delicious. Oof.
I'm sorry to hear that. Or I'm glad I'm not there. One of the two.
Right.
Maybe
I mean both.
I
Why not
think both? Yeah.
Why not both? So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to making more stickers, or having Mikey draw some more art that I can turn into stickers and or magnets, and hopefully things that weird people will happen by our booth and just buy because it's Jesus and toe sucking. I don't know. Like the more of those things we can create, the better. We'll see what happens. Okay, that's all my boring ass business. So back to this, like, what did you do this week?
What would you do?
In the past. What would you do in the past if you had 2 weeks to exist in the past? What would you have done for those?
Are you taking over the Dork Pride Chat?
No. I'm just rephrasing her question to make less sense because that's how I work.
Wait, are you supposed to be rephrasing things to make them make more sense, science lady?
No.
Who's writing papers?
No. Not in my free time. Thank you very much.
I see. So you spend your free time kind of trying to cancel that out by making things make less sense.
Yes.
Okay, then.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Was there an answer in there, or
What?
was there just a tangent?
I was asking you.
Oh, me?
Blythe. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. A couple of things. First of all, oh my God, you guys, it took me so long to recover from Gen Con. I feel like I'm still not recovered.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that shit hit me hard.
Me too. I normally deal pretty well and bounce back fairly quickly. I did not this time around. It was kind of rough. So that was fun. I still feel like I haven't caught up on sleep. Like I started talking to Josh about doing some more stuff for us outside of moderating things. And I started that conversation and then I was like, cool, I will get back to you when I have more time and am more centered. And that was like 2 weeks ago. So it's just been fucking crazy. And then shit is ramping up at work too, which is also not helping. Anyway, but in the time that I have had, guys, how excited am I?
I don't know. How excited are you?
I'm
you're
really
gonna
excited because I'm almost done with DS9. It's very exciting. I am very grateful. Shit got real weird.
Yep. It sure did, Pa Wraith's like, what?
Pa Wraith and fucking Gul Dukat? Is it? No, it's Dukat, right?
Yeah, it is. It's Gul Dukat.
Oh my God. Like, lol, what is happening?
Yeah, it gets freaky.
It's not great. I'm not going to lie.
I loved it. But you know.
It's just so insane. And the whole fucking, definitely have issues with Esri.
Well, welcome to being a person who watched the show.
Yeah, well, no shit. But, I had a lot of problems with Esri Dax, but my biggest, like, what the fuck moment was when she and Worf were doing their thing, and there was no mention of the fact that she would be like shunned from Trill society if they were to engage in a relationship again.
Well, that's only if it was public.
Well, they weren't talking about hiding it.
I mean, I assumed Worf was just grief crazed. which does happen to people.
Sure, but when they were discussing their whole situation, never once was one of them like, oh yeah, P.S., you'll fucking die. You'll literally kill this Dax symbiote if we engage in this relationship again. Like, there was already a plot of that previously, so it was established. And then it was just never mentioned when the sort of same situation came up later with a different character. And I was just like,
how many episodes did it take for that to resolve?
Too many.
Because and again, it has literally been since the initial airing of season 7 of DS9 that I actually saw that episode, so it's been a while. But I really only remember the one where they have, like, hate sex.
Right.
And I figured, well, depending on who saw them, like, it might not come out. I assumed that it would only become a thing if, like, another Trill saw them.
No, they were discussing engaging in another relationship afterwards. Like, they had hate sex, and then Worf was like, oh, now we are together again. And she was like, lol, no. And I was like, okay, first of all, you're a cunt.
Right.
Because, of course, that's, what he's going to want from you, you fucking bitch. But yeah, but in that like conversation of them, they're discussing having a relationship. They're not discussing this one-time hate sex. They're discussing their relationship moving forward.
Oh, well, I took that as Worf just kind of forgetting about that and just wanting to be with Jadzia more than anything, and Ezri being an idiot who doesn't understand her own society.
Well, Worf knew, so, like,
He did, but he's fucking insane, right, at this point?
I'm just saying, I feel like somebody would have brought it up during this fucking conversation. It's a pretty big deal that you would
You're not supposed to be rejoined.
Yeah, that you would be, like, excommunicated from your entire society. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, I literally have one more episode, and I could not be happier.
Well, shit's about to get even weirder, so hold on tight.
Great. I'm going to hold on to my butt.
And then next year you're going to watch Voyager?
That is my goal.
Are you gonna try and make it through all of the treks? Are you gonna watch Enterprise?
No.
I mean, here's, like, I didn't know that I was engaging in this journey that I am now on. I watched all of TNG, and it took me, like, literally years to get through. Not because I wasn't enjoying it, but just because there was so much. And then I took a pretty large break, and then I decided like 3 different times to try DS9. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of here at this point, and I've consumed so much Star Trek that I feel it's sort of my duty to consume all of Star Trek.
I'm just gonna warn you though, Enterprise is real bad, and what's worse, the worst thing about it is by far its opening theme song, which has words and sounds like a knockoff Bryan Adams.
Okay, well, Netflix has this handy dandy little skip intro button now, so
I know, but and you think that would matter, but once you've heard it, you know how horrible it is. And then you're sitting there just trying to watch the show, and then part of your brain's like, that motherfucking theme song, I fucking hate this show so much, God, and then, like, your brain goes out your ears. Like, that song is so shitty that it infects the rest of the show with shittiness, is my theory. Also, it's basically like, do you want to see some sexual tension between the guy from Quantum Leap, Scott Bakula, and the hot Vulcan first mate? Because that's basically all that there is.
I mean, what if I do?
I mean, if you do, that's great. But the thing is, how do you really want the whole show? Because that's pretty much it. Like, that's what you get.
Oh, well, I guess I'll set my bar low then.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I also started watching a delightful little television show called Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries or something. Guys, it's an Australian show, and it's got a woman lead character.
I can solve the mystery. They were all killed by poisonous Australian wildlife. Boom!
It was her mother all along.
Was her mother a funnel web spider?
Yes.
I mean, a huntsman, actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
But you were close. Anyway, it's on Netflix, and it's really charming, and it's set in 1920s.
Ooh.
So it's just like, it's got this just like, she's very thoroughly modern Millie, honestly.
Okay. I can't imagine why you would identify with this sort of thing and why you would kind of be predisposed to
That doesn't
enjoy
sound
this
like
show.
a thing you would like at all.
I know. She's so cute, and she's actually like an older woman. And she's just fucking like, fuck all these men. I'm gonna do this myself. And yeah, so it's a really fun little like murder mystery show.
Sidebar, I loved that review of Thoroughly Modern Millie when you were in it, that somebody was like, and a wonderful newcomer, Blythe Renee, and the picture was great, you were so cute, and it's like, she is adorable. They just said that in the review with a crystal clear voice, and crystal clear soprano, and I don't remember what came next, but she is adorable. And I'm like, yes! Let the people know!
I don't remember this song.
Oh, it was the best. And the picture was perfect too.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad.
So the picture was just super cute, and it was just you being like super. I mean, you were very much in character, but you were also super Blythe.
But also you just being you. So
yeah.
adorable.
So yeah, she is adorable. That made me so happy.
Oh gosh. Well, anyway, so that's been my like media consumption mostly. Oh, and the other exciting thing that's not exciting, it's actually terrifying, is I don't know if I talked about this previously. I went to the dentist a while ago.
Ah, yes.
And that is a thing I'm very afraid of, and had not been to the dentist prior to that visit for a number of years. Don't be like me, kids. Go to the fucking dentist. I'm getting all my dental work done on Friday. So it's going to be very expensive. I'm going to be very drugged out.
Yes, you will.
And I have a lot of anxiety. So that's fun and terrifying. Yay! So everyone pray for me, except don't. Because that's offensive.
Yeah.
If I die, though, I want everyone to know that I love them, but also fuck you. Because that's how I feel about people in general. I love you, but also fuck you. Fuck off! I'm not gonna die. I'm not. They're not even putting me under. I'm just being a fucking baby about it because I don't like. Well, first of all, I don't like dentists, but I also don't like drugs that make me feel out of control.
Anesthesia fucking sucks.
Well, I'm not getting anesthesia'd. It's not the word.
Anesthetized would be the.
Yo, I know.
I know. I'm just being an asshole.
However, I got halfway through it, couldn't remember it, and just decided to change it.
Yes.
Anesthesia'd. Yeah, so they're not fully putting me under. They're just giving me a drug that they likened to Valium, but like intense.
It's just supposed to relax you a lot.
So much so that I won't even remember, which is great because I don't want to remember.
So you're being roofied.
Essentially.
Yeah, I was going to say, so yeah, they're not actually putting you under, but that is like anesthesiology is actually an active branch of science because
Your
we
mom's
don't
an active branch of science.
Got him!
Well, yeah. I mean, she should be. Hey, Mom. Yeah. I mean, she produced me after all. Good God.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't understand a lot of how anesthesia actually works in your brain.
We don't understand how your mom works in your brain.
What? Oh.
You know that means I got one more, right?
What?
Yeah,
well,
obviously.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm going to continue talking so I can give you that third opportunity.
Oh, we know.
I'm not going to let you down. And I'm a pedantic asshole. And so a lot of drugs, actually, that's how they work for anesthesia, is that you don't actually remember the experience in your brain.
Right. Yeah, this is just a pill that I'm taking, and it's going to fuck me up enough that they have to, like, keep tabs on my blood pressure and shit just to make sure that nothing's going wrong. But
I know about your vasovagal shit, right? Because you do have things with your blood pressure.
Do you think I ever walk into any medical office without telling them about my fucking vasovagal reactions?
It's important that they take that shit seriously, because
that's why they're giving her drugs. Like,
well, that is why they're giving me drugs.
Yeah,
but also my hygienist, she also passes out.
Because a lot of times with women who have medical issues, they don't take your shit seriously. It's not the problem that you didn't tell them, I guess. I should have said it. Do they understand what that means? I don't
know if I've ever told this story before on the podcast, but
oh boy.
I once had a pap smear come back abnormal, which if that happens, it means that you have to come back in. They like ratchet open your vag.
Yep.
And look at your cervix.
Yeah, at your cervix.
And there were a couple spots that they wanted to biopsy. Well, it's not horrible, but it is fucking traumatic. Like, they are taking a piece of you. I shouldn't even be talking about this. Anyway, look it up if you don't know what it is. You should know what that is. Anyway, so they and I had warned them ahead of time about my shit. But surprise, they didn't take me seriously, and they were like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. Well, they did it, and they got out of there, but when they got out of there, it was too late. I was going, and I was apologizing all the way down, as I often do. But here's the thing. When I pass out, I sometimes have minor seizures that cause me to lose control of my bladder. So just a quick reminder here, they have my vagina ratcheted open, which means I'm not wearing pants, y'all.
I hope it went right into their stupid open mouths.
I pissed all over that table. It was, and they were all, like, I woke up and they were all like, oh, you weren't kidding. Yeah, no shit. Like, who kids about this?
Right. I thought it would be a funny joke to play. I really just wanted to pee on you guys.
Anyway, so I pissed all over in OBGYN's fucking office, and they fucking deserved it.
Yeah,
they
did.
Absolutely did. I really hope it got in their mouth and, like, in their eyes.
Super did not, but I hope that I also did that. So... Anyway, that's a fun story, personal story about peeing on things I just told on the fucking public podcast.
Yep. Well, that's 2 out of 3 of us.
Anyway.
Sorry, guys.
Amanda, I'm going to need you to pee on something just so you can tell us about
your bladder at some point.
I'll try.
Well, you did tell us about, like, projectile vomiting on things.
That's close.
That's not a story that needs to be repeated, though.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying you already did it.
Yeah, well... Yes, not quite the same as the whatever. Anyway, moving on.
So yeah, that's what my couple weeks have entailed. Amanda,
what?
Tell us. I want. Hey,
what?
I want to hear about your paper.
Yeah. We saw the evidence on Facebook. We saw things that happened.
Yeah, some things happened, right?
You can't deny it.
I got some reviews back.
Oh shit!
Did we even talk about on the podcast how you finished it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I just couldn't. Well, because we were before Gen Con, you weren't on the podcast, and then we talked about just Gen Con last time. So it's been a long time.
I don't know then, because it has been a long time.
No, I remember you did talk about finishing it and submitting it because that was happening at one of our rehearsals, and I'm pretty sure we talked about how that had happened right after you left. When we had the podcast after you had left, we talked about that you had submitted your paper.
So John Latch says, no, we didn't discuss it, and Josh says finishing it was mentioned. So, I don't know.
What else? Maybe we were under the effects of anesthesia at the time and we don't really remember it properly.
That could be. So, yeah. So right before Gen Con, I had this workshop that I went to. That was 10 days, which was great, but busy and stress-inducing because Gen Con's coming up. But before I got to the workshop, I wanted to get my paper submitted. So I was up very late the night before and did. And submitting it is just like sending all your shit to the journal and saying, here you go. Let us know what you think. So, and that usually takes a few weeks to get, because they send it out to people to read it and give you comments back. And a lot of times the comments are like, this is the worst piece of shit I've ever read. You should not be doing science because you are a terrible person. And yeah.
That sounds like a thing that happens frequently.
Watching videos of baby elephants because clearly you're not paying attention to your work.
Maybe your work should be baby elephants.
I mean, that's the dream, obviously.
Actually, you could go to the University of Chicago and postdoc with Vinnie Lynch, who studies elephants and mammoths.
I'm not saying.
Mammoths are real.
It's just, and he's an Evo Devo guy, so you could study evolutionary biology. I know, but you could focus more on the Evo than on the Devo.
Stop trying to make me do Devo. I don't want to.
Guys, no one likes Devo. Right. Not even people who like the 80s like Devo.
Exactly.
Are we not human? We are Devo.
Anyway, yeah, so I got the comments back, and they were real good. And so they came back late one evening when I was out on a date, and I saw the email, and it said something about needing major revisions, and so I'm like, okay, that's going to be bad. I'm not going to read this right now. I'll read it tomorrow. Yeah. And then the next day I read it, and I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And it, like, the major revisions that they want is for me to take something out. So it's not even like do a new thing. It's just like, hey, this thing right here, maybe not so great. Just don't put it in. It's like, okay.
Oh,
so
done.
Yeah. I'm like, that's about as good of a review as I could get back. So yeah, so I'm working on revising, and then hopefully I'll send it back and they'll say, okay, we like it now. And yeah, so that's the work side of things I've been doing. I've also been consuming a nerdy form of media.
Go on.
I started watching Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's really good, guys. I really like it.
Have you met Nina yet?
I'm not good with names. I think so.
She's a cute little girl.
Yes, that's pretty early on.
It is really early on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Yeah.
That was when Blythe called me sobbing into the phone.
Yeah. I didn't like that one.
Are you watching Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
Just Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it says on Netflix.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. That's pretty good.
Yeah. The original Full Metal Alchemist that you're watching strays pretty hard from the manga.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was not finished when they were making the series. Mm-hmm. And so about halfway or 3/4 of the way through, they kind of Game of Thrones'd it and just made decisions about things because they weren't finished. I don't know if the original author had any input on those like George supposedly did. So
I was going to say, yeah, what I always wonder with anime when it outpaces the manga, which happens all the fucking time, is do they actually contact the creator and say, what is your end game? Which HBO made Martin reveal what the very end events were going to be. So.
Right. Brotherhood is interesting because it separates from the it goes back through the story of the original the one you're watching right now.
Yeah.
But it blows through some shit and it just kind of is recapping for you simply because you've already seen it. So that wasn't necessarily the goal, but they were like, yeah, we're just gonna fly through this. And then things start to kind of stray from what you were used to. And then you get completely beyond that and you're like, oh shit. And so it goes into all this other crazy crazy shit that happened just because the manga kept going. And just had all these other characters that were never even introduced. And so anyway, I'm in the middle of Brotherhood right now. And it's definitely interesting. But yeah, getting through that beginning was very difficult. So I recommend either taking a break or like, if you're going to watch Brotherhood, I recommend taking a break between.
Yeah, I figured, yeah, I probably won't watch them back to back because that's.
Well, if you don't realize that you're about to watch what you just watched, essentially, it seems like, oh, this is the next part of it. And if you don't do your research, like it's super
like,
not.
Wait, I already saw some of this and this is different. And yeah, that's good to know.
So anyway, it's, lots of information there that I have. If you have questions, I may have answers because we've done a lot of research on it. So, but yeah, it's really cute.
It is really cute.
I really like it.
Yeah.
It's also really fucking dark.
Yeah.
Which I also like.
I know.
With that, like, I like dark. I don't like violent. And I feel like that's been my thing with anime. Kind of like, Blythe, your initial reactions to role-playing was that you had a negative experience way back and were like, I don't want any of this thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was about to say, well, if you like dark like Full Metal Alchemist, you should check out Attack on Titan. And then the words, but I don't like violent came out of your mouth. And I'm like, never mind.
Well, Full Metal Alchemist is gonna.
It's
gonna get there.
It has. I mean, they're short episodes. Don't judge me. I'm on like 36, I think, or something. So. I know.
Wait, what was the first anime you ever saw? Something like Fist of the North Star?
That is exactly the first one that I saw.
How did you just nail that?
Well,
that
Fist
is
of the
impressive.
North Star is basically based on the time when I conjectured Amanda would have been seeing anime for the first time, and the anime that was available at that time, and something that would be ultra violent enough to scare somebody away from the genre. There's really only one possibility, and that is Fist of the North Star.
You are a magician. That is exactly the one. I am very impressed. But yes, that is exactly the one that I saw, and I was like, I don't like this at all. This makes me very uncomfortable, and I don't want any more. So.
I cannot fault you for that whatsoever, because Jesus Christ, Fist of the North Star. My God.
Yep. I mean, and I didn't even watch, I'm sure I didn't watch even a small, like I didn't get very far through it.
You don't have to.
Yeah, it's just like, no. Just no. So, yeah. But you guys have talked about, way better. And you guys have talked about it enough, and like, if it's something Blythe has watched, I know it's not going to be that violent.
That's true.
Yeah, like I feel like I can handle anything that you're able to handle. So,
I mean, for the most part.
Yeah.
Sometimes my brain is weird and is like, no, this maiming is fine. No rhyme or reason. I swear to God.
Our Hodor from Gen Con.
That's Jodor, if you will.
Jodor is asking, when is our anime parody show coming?
Oh, God. It would just be like all tits and fucking.
There would be so many.
I don't think that makes them not ask the question again.
Yeah. So it wasn't about them. It was about like, do I want to do that?
I'm just saying we're gonna need like a professional team of puppeteers if that happens, and that's gonna be
us.
Well, yes, but also the tentacle demons. What?
I'm in.
Yes, I knew there had to be a button I could push to get Blythe to agree to my ridiculous stage prop demands.
I don't want to make the puppet because
no. It's required that you find a patron or patrons to do it for us, to bring it, to puppet it, to know their job duty. That's all on you, boo.
John Latch already said that he would bring the tentacles.
Perfect.
All right, there we go. Yeah, so then we can finally do our anime parody show. Aratsuka Doje Part 4. This time it's personal.
Y'all nasty.
Ouch! You've dug up mucus from me.
You're so sexy.
Something else that I learned very recently that I need to share with everyone, because I didn't know this and I need everyone to know this. Apparently Rob Thomas wrote some Veronica Mars books.
Wait, which Rob Thomas?
Girl, the Rob Thomas that wrote Veronica Mars. I don't need to clarify that shit.
So not the lead singer of Matchbox 20.
I'm not even going to dignify that with respect.
Okay.
You shouldn't have to, obviously.
So anyway, if you're a Veronica Mars fan out there, surprise, that exists. I had no idea. There appear to be 2 of them, at least. Yeah, I think it's just 2. So, pretty excited. I think those will be purchased very soon. I put them on my Amazon wish list so I wouldn't forget them. And, I've had time to read too. That's so yay for Gen Con being over. I actually read a book, you guys.
Yeah. I know, it's just like all the media that we've been putting off for months.
No. It wasn't even a nerdy book. It was just some like thriller piece of trash.
Having the time to look at anything is real nice.
Yeah.
Is beautiful. So now I'm going to dive into some nerdy shit now that I got some thriller trash out of my system.
Sometimes you need like a palate cleanser.
Right? I just needed to blow through a book in a few days that I didn't have to think too hard about. And just feel like, oh, yes, a reminder that I am, in fact, a reader.
What you reading
Speaking of reading, the Hugos happened. And N.K. Jemisin, writer of the Broken Earth trilogy that I fucking love so hardcore, took home her 3rd motherfucking Hugo for Best Novel for the 3rd Broken Earth book. So that is a triple crown, a feat as yet unachieved by any other motherfucker in human history. So...
Yep.
She's a fancy.
She is. And the thing is that it is totally deserved. That the 3rd book manages to combine like a great plot with lore that explains all the shit that's been hinted at in the previous 2 books. And in order to do that, you have to go 40,000 years back in time before the events of the main story. And yet it blends seamlessly into everything else. Plus,
also first person, second person, and third person perspective, which she's used throughout, blend perfectly together to make sense as to why all of those different points of view were used. It's fucking fantastic.
It is, and she really sticks the landing, which is so many good series. The authors have written themselves into quarters, don't know how to explain the central mystery that they set up, or they just fuck up the ending hardcore. I would say that happens more often than not. She did not fuck up the ending. The ending was good and satisfying.
'Twas
awesome. Yeah.
So, and I'm just like, yeah, and her acceptance speech was this big like, fuck you, racists, you said I couldn't do it. And was very awesome. So, yeah.
That's pretty great.
So, yeah, I was very happy. I'm like, come on, come on, come on.
Rissy, do you have a Dork Pride chat for us?
Yeah, actually, I was kind of thinking about it. So we like to talk about, like, our biggest, like, favorite moments, like, what's the big thing that impressed you? But I was thinking, like, what's your favorite little moment that happened either at this year's Gen Con or at a con in the past? Like, some little thing that happened, maybe only you were there for it, or maybe it was just a small thing that you exchanged between you and another person, you know, not a huge deal, but that just kind of really... you know, helped make the con for you, even though it wasn't the most spectacular thing. For me at this Gen Con, it was the moment when I was in the women's restroom and I had spilled something on my my shirt and I just noticed it and I went, motherfucker! And the woman next to me was like, you have a lovely singing voice. And I was like, oh, like, thank you. I honestly, for some reason, thought no one would be paying attention to me as I was trying to, like, use the dryer to get it out. Like,
when are you ever doing something that people aren't paying attention to, ma'am?
Yeah, but you know how I get into my own head.
Yeah, I do. But still, you should know.
So yeah, it was for me. So, like, what's like a nice, like, small moment like that was just really great for you?
I also have a bathroom moment to share because why not? This is last year, the year before, maybe, being in the same restroom, the one in the dealer hall, and there was a woman in there who part of her costume, it included a tie. And she was like, does anybody in here know how to tie a tie? And I'm like, I got this. I'll get this for you. She's like, I knew somebody would. She's like, women in women's bathrooms are so helpful. It's like,
very
yeah,
true.
That's when we're our nicest.
Anyone who thinks all women are evil catty bitches should be in a women's restroom at 1:30 in the morning in a dive bar, right? When we are at our most caring and nurturing. And we're like, I love all of you sisters. I'll hold your hair.
I mean, that's going a little far. How much do I like you? I'll give you my hair tie. How about that?
That's still pretty good.
Okay. It's very giving. Because what if it's your only hair tie left?
I know. Right?
Yeah, I would give them my hair tie. I'm not going to hold your hair, but I can appreciate that you don't want your hair in that shit and that you need a way to keep it out. So that's as nice as I'm willing to be.
And you, Blythe?
I am quite certain I have like a million of these instances that have happened, and my brain is freezing up and I can't come up with a single one.
That's okay. We will read some from the chat while you think. So Joe Dor says he was walking around Gen Con with his daughter and she was wearing a shirt that said "The Legend of Me," and this really sweet couple started giggling when they saw it, and I said, her name is Zelda.
That's really cute.
It is. It's very, very cute. John Latch, a long while ago at a very disorganized con, I ended up in a room with David Drake and 2 other people. We abandoned the theoretical panel topic and BS'd for an hour. Yeah, oh, that shit is awesome. Where, like, nobody's there, everything has gone wrong, and you're all just like, fuck it. Fuck all this shit. Did we lose Amanda?
No, I'm here.
No, she's back.
Yeah, I've been
right, there we go.
here. I've been here. I've been able to hear the whole time, but my camera just
They pooped.
Yeah, we heard you. That was the important part for this portion. Gosh, honestly, like, I would say like the biggest, especially when it comes to Gen Con, the biggest things that really make the con are like the little things of people kicking in and helping us out. Like, they don't have to do, like, whether it's people helping us get set up or tearing down from a show, or just in past years, we didn't have so much of this year, but in past years we've had friends and fans who have been willing to help us to carry all of our shit.
Oh God, yeah.
From wherever we were performing, usually to our hotel room, which is sometimes a slog, and we're carrying large, heavy items. And it's fucking hot, and we're wearing heels, and it's just a nightmare. Luckily, we were kind of in one centralized location this year, so we didn't have to keep dragging things back and forth. We stored them there, which was great. But that, like, those sorts of things, like, it's a small thing, but it just means so much because you're taking time out of your convention. Like, you could be gaming right now, and you're fucking not. People who bring us food or make sure that we have just water. Like, you don't even realize how dehydrated we get without even realizing it.
That fucking air-conditioned dealer's hall, Jesus.
Yeah. So I think, like, those are the really important things to me that make me go, like, oh my God, like, this is so cool. And, like, these people give a shit about us, and we give a shit about them, and like, we've built this thing that is just so fucking cool. Yeah, so I guess those are kind of the small moments that make the convention for me.
Those, it is awesome when people let us know that they care about us. That's really kind of cool. Oh shit, actually, you talking about that reminds me, our very first Gen Con as the Damsels. I was trying it was the last day of the con, and somebody made me carry that giant, I don't know if you even remember it because we only used it the 1 year, this huge red suitcase that was full of super heavy props. and I had to carry it to the hotel. And the problem is it was so bulky and it had one tiny handle on the top. And it was actually way too heavy for me to like actually lift and carry it.
Did it
And
not
so-
have wheels?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was, and we only used it that 1 year. It
Yeah,
never
I
made
feel like you'd use it once and be like, never again.
never again, because it was just so huge and bulky, and I really could not move it very much. So I was just like desperately trying to get to the convention hall and just having a terrible time with this thing. And this super sweet guy stopped and helped, and he carried it all the way into the convention hall for us. And I thanked him so much. And yeah, he was just the sweetest dude. And then later on, so I'd gone to the bathroom and I came back, and he was a writer. He was one of the writers there. His name was Dave Gross. And he had written a Pathfinder novel called Prince of Wolves and like autographed it for me and left it at the booth.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah,
I
and
have
actually,
no
it's a
recollection of
really
this.
good book too. I mean, most tie-in fiction is garbage, but I really liked this book. So Prince of Wolves by Dave Gross, check it out. Pathfinder. It's spooky. It's real spooky, and I just love the shit out of it. So yeah, and it was just one of those like, oh god, that is the sweetest fucking thing.
Yeah, that's great. Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Latch, you've got some really good stories. I love this. I ended up at a pajama party with Jason Carter and 20 women. Originally, I read that as John Carter. And I'm like,
John
Lauren
Carter.
with John Carter of Mars and 20 women?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
actually on
Impressive.
Mars.
Were all the women very spirited princesses? Did they go around like if they're in love with a man, they slap him? They're like, I love you, slap. I hate you, slap. I love you again, slap. Now I've fallen over in my heels. Oh.
Well, if you guys have moments like that, we would love to hear about it, and you can use the hashtag Dork Pride Chat to kind of tag us into those, and we want to hear about moments that you have had at conventions that seem like small things but are important to you. So,
Yes. And with that, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dork Pridecast. Of course, as always, we want to give a big thank you to Sarah Donner for allowing us to use music off of her album Black Hole Heart.
you can find the Damsels on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, all the usual places. But also, if you have a few minutes, please subscribe, rate, and or review our podcast on iTunes or whatever podcast app you use. That is a huge help to us. That costs you $0.
But if you do want to contribute in the form of dollars, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Damsels of Dorkington, where you can get access to rewards that are only available there, such as a fuck ton of bonus content and being on the list of super awesome patrons that we thank at the end of the podcast, like these people. This is an even ep.
It's an even ep. How would we like to thank everyone? I don't have a
We could do,
theme.
let's tell a nice con story about everybody.
Okay, that sounds great.
Right. Okay. So I'll start off. So, this one year, John Haight was gonna wear his creepy gingerbread man costume to come scare me at the booth the way he always does. But then he found out that someone in my family had just been murdered by a gingerbread man, and so he didn't wear the costume. But he did tell me he'd been thinking about it, so I could appreciate the sweetness of the gesture.
That's very nice.
Thanks,
Very
John Haight.
Well, one time I was at a convention and I had a skirt on and I tucked it accidentally into my underwear when I went to the bathroom. And Mason Slater just walked up behind me and with one fluid motion just pulled that shit right out there. And he fixed my skirt for me. So thanks, Mason.
That was very nice of him to do that for you.
Yeah.
One time I was on my way to the dealer hall and I was carrying some stuff and I dropped them everywhere and people were just walking on top of all of these random generic things that I dropped.
That's so rude.
I know. It was very rude. But then Mary Henderson was there and she got everybody to stop walking on these random generic things and she helped me pick them up.
That's awesome.
So at a fairly early Gen Con, I was feeling really down about myself and my looks because I'm a woman. And Joshua Griffiths was there with his awesome camera, and he took a picture of me and he showed it to me, and it was like the best picture that's ever been taken that I was in. Like all my weird face things just kind of seemed to go away, and it made me think, wow, like I don't look as inhuman as I feel. Thank you, Josh Griffiths.
Well, one time at Gen Con, like 3 weeks ago, Sean Palmer messaged me and was like, yo, bitch, you want us to set up some cameras and record your shit? And I was like, holy crap, yes, I do. Thank you. And then he did it, and he did not make me answer any questions or do anything to make it happen. He just handed me a drive at the end of the con and was like, here's your shit. And I was like, oh my God, thanks. So thank you, Sean.
One time, Richard Hirsch brought me cookies that were shaped like elephants, and he became my best friend ever.
Definitely not a true story. One time, Andrew Murray let us dress him up as a bear.
Oh my God, we've done so much to that man.
We have. And he would run on stage and attack us every time we said, oh shit, a bear. And he was really fucking into it.
I love that.
Really fucking into it.
I love that half these stories are real and half these stories are
I know.
not. And you can't tell which is which. It's my favorite.
I know at one point I'm like, oh, are we telling real stories? I didn't realize we were telling real stories. So, and then I'm like, oh, I got Richard Hirsch. I got a story to tell.
Right. One time at a convention, Alec Teller looked like a bunch of other nerds at a convention. And Rissy was like, yo, what up? But it wasn't actually Alec Teller. And so she felt real stupid and then had a good story to tell us about later. So thank you to Alec Teller for kind of sort of looking like a generic nerd, only better, but Rissy can't tell. So.
Well, it was, this guy was walking towards us in the mall, and I went, hey! And he was like, and Amanda was like, you thought he was Alec Teller, didn't you? And I'm like, I did. Oh, shit.
Is it?
Gordon.
Oh, I'll do this one. Unless, Rissy, you don't want to do the last one on the list.
No, I'll do the last one.
Okay.
I'll do the last.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You can thank him on your own time, madam.
Yeah, I know. We want to thank Gordon Nelson. One time at band camp, he no, that's not what we're talking about. One time at Gen Con, he had a giant 5-foot long hot dog, which they were selling there, and he shared it with all of us.
I wasn't sure where that was going, but you're right. I remember that now.
Yeah. And he even had like different condiments on different sections for people who liked. Like there was a section with no mustard because I don't like mustard, and there was a section with no Cheese Whiz because Blythe doesn't like. I don't know why I said that. You know me. I just will say words as they come out and hope they go someplace. It doesn't always pan out. This is one of those times. Yep.
It was still a good concept, though.
I loved it.
Solid story. 10 out of 10 would repurchase.
I might. I mean, not Cheese Whiz, but like queso. I might dip a hot dog in that.
Yeah.
I'd consider it. I like hot dogs in my macaroni and cheese. I might be hungry. Should we move on?
Yeah. So one time at Gen Con, John Kozlowski let me get slobbering drunk and was sitting right next to me, and I had a little bit of a crush on him at the time, and he walked me out to the hotel lobby. And I was very unsteady, and he was just a perfect fucking gentleman the whole time. This was like one of the first times we'd ever kind of like hung out. It was like a kind of damsel, like a sort of like a weird predecessor of the Patreon party, where we just invited a bunch of people to come hang out at a swanky hotel bar with us. Jesus, I was so fucking wasted, and he was just so sweet.
And now they bone.
It's true.
It is true. We also want to thank Kevin Larson, Daniel Neruda, Melody Glatzel-Smith, William Priest, Jason Sanchez, Joseph Harris, Darren Wilson, Wayne Walls, Maggie Mayville, Alex Hollis, Tommy Bort, and John Dykes. So thanks for joining us, everyone. This has been episode 96 of the Dork Pridecast. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Deuces!
Jetpack unless you're a Patreon patron. Shut up, and we'll see you next week.